And of course, AB typically being really humble, saying things like, I've hit the ball better. But we probably shouldn't get ahead of ourselves ahead of the World Cup. I mean, a side like Australia can certainly catch a score like that.
Absolutely.
A very lackluster sort of approach and attitude, it seemed, from the West Indies in these past two games. I mean, it seems like they rely heavily on Chris Gayle in the batting department, and if he doesn't come to the party, I mean, he's thrown his wicket away. Because the bowling is not their strength.
No, absolutely. And you just mentioned Australia there quickly. They beat India this week, and we're also going to be a force at the World Cup. So don't underestimate Australia at all. West Indies, like you said, they won the toss, relying on Chris Gayle to basically chase down whatever we posted. Once he's out, it pretty much falls away for them there. You know, they did still almost score 300 runs, but you know that's also in part because the Wanderers is such a batting paradise, and like we said, shorter boundaries and all. But you know, we were always going to win that game after the posting 429. I think we probably took our foot off the gas from a bowling point of view and let them score more runs than they probably should have. So you know, the bowlers will have to step up, but it's very difficult in 50-over cricket to put everything together. You know, perfect batting performance, excellent in the field, and top-class bowling. You know, there's something that always sort of lets you down, but it just gives you something to work on for the next match.
So for the remainder of this series against the West Indies, I mean, do you see the West Indies kind of having a resurgence? I mean, this is obviously their last sort of bit of practice before the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, from their point of view, they obviously want to finish the series strong. You know, they're 5 matches, they're 2-0 down, they're unlikely to win 3 and win the series 3-2. But they'll certainly want to finish on a high. You know, they'll also at the same time want to rest a couple of players, not overplay them, because the World Cup starts pretty soon after this series finishes. Same from a South African point of view. You know, they might even choose to rest once the series is over. The Amlas and the De Villiers and the Steins and a couple of those sort of players. But you know, from a West Indian point of view, on this tour of South Africa, I think they sort of earmarked the 2020s as their strongest or best chance of winning a series, and they did that. And credit to them for winning the 3-match 2020 series 2-1. But you know, 50 overs, it's a bit closer to Test match cricket, where they don't have the patience to build an innings. You know, that sort of thing. They sort of, the hit and miss of 2020 is more appealing to their style of batting and bowling. So you know, I think they'll be competitive at times. It'll be nice to see them post a big score and then South Africa chase it down. You know, it's one thing posting 429 and then you pretty much got the game sewn up no matter how badly you bowl. But you know, chasing down a score can be more tricky at times, especially if you lose a couple of early wickets. As you said, Riley Rousseau hasn't done a lot to date until this match, and he scored his debut century. You know, Amla's been in fantastic form, and I expect him to continue. But there'll be times that he also, you know, falls cheaply, and then we'll have a different slant on things if AB had come in at sort of 7 for 3 or 7 for 2, rather than the score that he did, you know, eventually come into the crease, where he sort of could just go hell for leather from ball one. So it's a different slant on things there. Obviously, at the World Cup, far more pressure. You know, we can't lose. We're not in the toughest group, so we should get through the group. But then that straight knockout game, you know, the memories of previous World Cups will come flooding back, and then it'll be all down to AB. And if we don't perform, everyone's going to look at AB and go, you know, we wish you had the form that you had in South Africa at the World Cup, rather than the other way around, because now we're going home early without the trophy.
But of course, you've still got guys like Faf du Plessis, David Miller also in the middle order to sort of fall back on, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that batting lineup is incredibly strong. If everyone came off, you know, it would be formidable for any opposition. You know, it's obviously difficult in 50 overs to get everyone a decent length of time at the crease. So, you know, there are going to be times that batsmen come in with 3-4 overs to go, and they obviously can't build an innings there. So as long as you sort of get the order right, and you know the right batsmen are batting at sort of the 3, 4, 5, 6 position, then I think we'll be okay. I expect us to go a long way in this World Cup, not based on what we've done in the last couple of matches, but because we have this team now that we've assembled that is pretty formidable. And looking at some of the other countries, they're perhaps not at the top of the games, and also a couple of the subcontinent teams that normally would be good at World Cups, not ideally suited to the wickets down in Australia and New Zealand. So I think, you know, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand will probably have better chances than your Indias, Pakistans, and Sri Lankas at this tournament.